I'm 92 years old now. When I say that out loud, it still echoes strangely in my ears. I never truly imagined I'd reach this age. Back when I was 20, even turning 40 felt distant and unimaginable. At 30, I thought I should have life all figured out. At 40, I began to understand that control was mostly an illusion. At 60, I finally accepted that time doesn't slow down. We just grow slower in noticing how quickly it vanishes. I was born in a time when everything was slower. The days, the cars, even people's voices. I grew up in a small town where everyone knew each other's name, and even more, each other's stories. The roads were made of dirt, our bicycles squeaked. The cafes smelled of ground beans and old wood. And the sound of the church bell at noon carried across fields like a lullaby. I still remember walking to the market, hand in hand with my father, on crisp Sunday mornings, the smell of fresh bread mingling with strong black coffee. We would greet the same faces, hear the same jokes. It was predictable, but comforting. The neighbors laughed loudly, the children ran barefoot, and no one ever seemed in a rush. People often ask me, "What was your biggest mistake?" Most expect dramatic answers, lost fortunes, heartbreaks, missed opportunities. But the truth isn't always what people want to hear. My greatest mistake wasn't an action I took, it was the inaction. The words I didn't speak, the chances I let slip, the love I didn't confess. And that kind of regret stays with you longer than failure ever could. In my youth, I wore masks, ones that others gave me, and ones I chose myself, out of fear. I wanted to be accepted, to be seen as capable, strong, useful. I worked in jobs that drained me, surrounded myself with people who never really knew me, followed paths because they were safe. I told myself I was being responsible. But in truth, I was afraid of rejection, of being misunderstood, of standing out. I've lived through things that now sound like stories from a history book. There were wars, real wars, not the kind you see on a screen. I remember the trembling hands that wrote letters by candlelight. One of them came from my brother during his time at the front. In it, he confessed his fear, his longing, and ended with the words, "Be strong for both of us." I kept that letter for over 50 years, yellowed by time, but still warm with meaning. Friends, so many of them, vanished from my life too early, some through tragedy, others simply because life led them away. Joan, my first friend, gone in a car crash before he even turned 25. Anna, who moved across the world with promises to write, but never did. These absences etched quiet lessons into my soul, that every goodbye might be the last, and that we should never postpone what matters. For decades, I confused being busy with being alive. I followed routines with discipline. I paid bills on time, I raised a family. But at night, when the world quieted down, a silent question echoed in my chest. Is this all? And that silence was heavier than any noise. I kept postponing joy. When there's enough money, when the children are grown, when the timing is right. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment, and the more you wait, the less you feel capable of starting. When I was 18, I fell in love with a girl named Clara. She had the kind of laugh that made you feel seen. I adored her, but I never told her. I was too afraid. She moved away, and I never saw her again. That silence, the one that grew in her absence, stayed with me all my life, like an unopened letter in my heart. Miguel, my best friend, once looked me straight in the eye and said, "João, are you really going to let it pass you by again?" "I don't know," I whispered. "What if I ruin it all?" And he answered, like only true friends do, "If you don't try, it's already ruined." But I didn't try, and some things, once missed, don't return. We grow up thinking there will always be time to apologize, to take that trip, to change our path. But life doesn't wait. I had dreams, not grand ones, just mine. Starting a bakery, painting, learning Italian, telling someone I loved them without needing them to say it back. But I kept telling myself, one day, and one day quietly disappeared. Fear wore many disguises. Sometimes it called itself caution. Other times, it wore the suit of duty. But fear, no matter how dressed up, stole years from me. The hardest truth, most regrets I carry are about what I didn't do. The job I stayed in too long, the words I held in, the adventures I shelved. One night at dinner, my daughter asked, "Dad, are you happy?" And I said, "Sometimes." She looked puzzled. "But you've done everything right." And I replied, "Doing everything right doesn't always feel right inside. We are raised to avoid failure, but no one teaches us how heavy a life unlived can feel. That playing it safe isn't free. It comes with the cost of wonder, risk, power. We are raised to avoid failure, but no one teaches us how heavy a life unlived can feel. That playing it safe isn't free. It comes with the cost of wonder, risk, passion. And so, as my bones weaken and my steps slow, one thing has grown stronger: clarity. I don't need much now, not praise, not possessions, but I need to share this. Because maybe you still have what I lost: time, choice, the power to begin again. If something in this story stirs something in you, don't brush it off. That discomfort is your soul asking to be heard. Don't wait until you're 92 to understand what living truly means. If you're breathing, there's still time. But I'll tell you this: time doesn't wait. Live now. Subscribe. And if someone you know needs to hear this, share it. You never know how far a story can travel or whose life it might save.